Okay, so last class we have derived for a wave where it's supposed to propagate in a lossy medium or lossy dielectric. For that case, these are the two wave equations we have derived by using all our conditions for the medium and from the Maxwell's equations. By putting all those conditions in the Maxwell's equation, by all those four Maxwell's equations, by taking that it is a charge free medium, then we can have these two wave equations with respect to magnetic field, with respect to electric field. So after this we will proceed further. So these are the two wave equations. Then we can say this electric field and magnetic field, they may have different coordinates. It may have x coordinate, x component, it may have y component, it may have z component. Okay, so the electric field and magnetic field may have a different component, but it is what we know that if E is having x component, then related to this x component of the electric field, the magnetic field will be in the y component, because E and y, E and H are always in the orthogonal direction. Okay, so if we have been considering x component for the electric field, we will have y component for the magnetic field. If we are having y component for the electric field, we will have x component of the magnetic field, by considering that our wave is propagating in the z direction. Our wave is propagating in the z direction, then we can say yes, on the transverse plane, the plane which is perpendicular to the direction of propagation, on that plane we are having the electric field and magnetic field, and both of them are transverse on that plane, or both of them are lying on that plane. So I'll show you how. So let us write these wave equations in different coordinates, in Cartesian coordinates. We have been taking the simplest coordinate system for better understanding. We are having del square x component, we may have y component, we may have z component. Same for the magnetic field, we may have x component, y component, z component. Now we'll do some manipulation or some mathematical calculation with respect to this propagation constant. So what we know about this propagation constant? Gamma is equals to alpha plus j beta, right? And this is equals to j omega mu sigma plus j omega epsilon. This is what we know. Now let us do the square in the both side. So gamma square will be alpha plus j beta whole square, which is j omega mu sigma plus j omega epsilon. So from this we can take out the real value. So therefore real of gamma square is, that will be alpha square minus beta square, then plus twice j alpha beta. Then we have been neglecting the imaginary part, we are only considering the real part. Then this one will coming out as minus omega square mu epsilon, or we can write this one as minus of real of gamma square is omega square mu epsilon. We need to use this value. Let us give some, we have given 7, let us give equation number 8. Now Let us again go with this gamma square expression. We have been going to take mod value for this. So this will be the mod, right? That is alpha square minus beta square plus twice j alpha beta mod. Then this value, this one will coming out as minus omega square mu epsilon plus j omega mu sigma. Sorry, it is mod. Now if we take this value, it will coming out as, this is the real part, so alpha square minus beta square whole square plus twice alpha beta whole square whole to the power half, and for this it is minus omega square mu epsilon whole square plus omega mu sigma whole square whole to the power half. So this one can be written as alpha to the power 4 plus beta to the power 4 minus twice alpha square beta square, then plus 4 alpha square beta square whole to the power 4 is equals to, this one will become omega to the power 4 mu square epsilon square plus omega square mu square sigma square whole to the power 4. Okay. So this one is plus 2 alpha to the power 4 plus beta to the power 4 plus twice alpha square beta square whole to the power half is equals to, if we take out this omega square and mu square, then it is omega mu, this one will become sigma square plus omega square, then epsilon square whole to the half, right? Up to this clear? So if we take this mod value, it will give us mod of gamma square. We can write this value directly, omega mu gamma square plus omega square epsilon square whole to the power half. So this is equation number 9. Okay, so which is, this one is equals to what? Mod of gamma square, it is equals to, this one will be beta square plus alpha square whole square, this one will get cancelled, this root will get cancelled, right? So it will be alpha square plus beta square whole to the power this square whole to the power half. It is equals to alpha square plus beta square is equals to omega mu sigma square plus omega square epsilon square. Okay, so better just give this one as a 9. So from equation 8, what we have been found, this is equals to alpha square minus beta square, this equation 8, and this one is equals to alpha square plus beta square. So if we do the calculation with respect to this alpha square and beta square, we can able to find out the value of alpha and beta. So let us add equation number 8 and 9. Adding equation 8 and 9, we are remaining with, it is positive, it is negative. So if we have been adding them, sorry, this one is, it is minus, so it's supposed to be, it should be beta square minus alpha square, because we have taken this one as negative. So we are remaining with beta square, twice beta square. Understood? Any confusion on this? This one is minus, right? So it is plus, so it's supposed to be beta square minus alpha square. So if you add them, then alpha will get cancelled. So we are remaining with twice beta square. So twice beta square is adding them omega square mu epsilon from this equation 8, and for this we are having omega mu root over of sigma square omega square epsilon square, right? So for this omega square mu epsilon, if we take out this epsilon here, then we can have omega mu epsilon, right? If we have been taking out both, then we can have omega square and epsilon square. If we have been taking out, then we can have omega square, same like this. We have been trying to make like this so that we can take out this one as common. We can have 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square, right? So we can take out this one as common. So twice beta square will be omega square mu epsilon into 1 plus root over of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square. So what will be our beta? Beta will be omega square, omega, if we take out root, then omega will come out, omega mu epsilon by 2 into root over of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square plus 1. It is omega root over of mu epsilon by 2 into root over of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square plus 1. It is the expression of the phase shift constant. It is the expression of phase shift constant. Same, if we subtract this equation number 9 and 8, then we are having the expression with respect to alpha. So subtracting them, equation 8 and 9 will have, this one is like this. So minus twice alpha square is equals to omega square mu epsilon minus this value, that is omega mu root over of sigma square plus omega mu whole square. Same, we can take out this 2, then we will have omega square mu epsilon minus omega square mu epsilon root over of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square. We can take out this, then we can have twice alpha square omega square mu epsilon, we have been taking it common, this one will be 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square minus 1. So the alpha value is omega root over of mu epsilon by 2 into root over of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square minus 1. So these are the two expressions, one is beta, one is alpha. So where is the difference? Only this one is plus 1, this one is minus 1. So it is omega root over of mu epsilon by 2 into root over of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square, plus 1 is for beta and minus 1 is for alpha. Let us give, I am just writing this one again for beta. It is omega root over of mu epsilon by 2 into root over of 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square plus 1. So it is, just give any equation, last one is 9, it is 10, it is 11. Now what are the components we have been considered for the wave equation? Let us assume that wave propagates in the plus z direction. Wave propagates in the plus z direction and E is having only x component. It is propagating in the plus z direction and we are having only x component. the wave propagates along plus z direction and ES has only x component, that is our electric field E, it is having x component propagating along z direction, unit vector along x direction, right? So therefore this equation we can write, we can take out this ESX, so this one will become del square minus gamma square into ESX Z is equals to 0, right? So if we write about this del square, what we can write? We can write down this one as del square ESX by del x square plus, I am just writing the expression of this delta, del square ESY by del y square plus del square ESZ by del z square sorry, both of them will be x. The variation is with respect to, because I am just writing about this x, this del square is equals to this thing plus, so if we are having this x component, that will be having everywhere. So what does it mean? Del square represents the variation along x, variation along y, variation along z. So these are the variation with respect to the space coordinates, minus gamma square ESX z is equals to 0. It is having z, it is z, right? So all those variation will be 0 because the wave is been propagating along the z direction. Since wave is propagating along z direction, all the variation with respect to x and y will be 0. All the variation with respect to x and y will be 0. So we can take out this one as 0, this one as 0. Why? Because we have been assumed our wave is propagating along the z direction and it is having the electric field is having x component. So we can say that the variation will present only with respect to the z coordinate. The wave has been propagating in the z. So whatever the field component, let us consider it is x, the electric field will be like this, but the variation will be with respect to this z, because the wave has been propagating along the z direction. So there will be no propagation along x, no propagation along y. There is no variation along x, there is no variation along y. So this partial variation, now it will become direct differentiation. Then we can write this one as dz2 minus gamma square, it is ESX z is equals to 0. Okay, so this equation, it is known as scalar wave equation. Previously all those equations are known as vector wave equations because we have not isolated the variation. We have been considered del square, which is have the variation in all the three directions. So for this case we have been identified where is our particular variation for the wave propagation. So this kind of equation, it is known as scalar wave equation. So it is not at all respect to that either we are having any vector component or any scalar component. It is not at all like that. Since we have been identified where is the variation and it is with respect to only one coordinate, that's why it has been given as a scalar wave equation. And it is also a linear homogeneous differential equation. So we can easily find out the solution for this. This one is ESX Z. It is E0, gamma is there, so e to the power minus gamma Z plus prime, another constant e to the power gamma Z. Okay. So this E0 and E0 prime are constant, right? So what we want, the field must be finite at the infinity. What does it mean? The field must be finite at infinity means we should have the finite value of the field component at the infinite direction, infinite or the long distance. So we can say that this variation, it is exponential decay, this variation is exponentially increasing. So on a transmission line, obviously at the source end, where the source, it should have the maximum amplitude, and while it has been propagating, if it is a lossy medium, then obviously it should lose its power, and while it has been reaching the far distance, it should be tends to 0. It should be very minimum. So we can say at the forward direction this component will exist because the wave has been propagating in the plus z direction, and if this is the source end, then we can say it is having the maximum amplitude at the source end, and while it has been propagating, its amplitude goes decreasing. Its amplitude goes decreasing like this. So from this we can take that this e to the power minus gamma z, it has been propagating in the plus z direction, and e to the power plus gamma z, it is propagating in the minus z direction, because minus it is having the exponentially increasing. So if it is starting from the origin, it's supposed to have the minimum, while it has been going at a long distance along the z, then it should have the maximum amplitude. So what we say that at the load end we are having the maximum amplitude on the transmission line, or while we are been propagating at the receiver end where the load is there. So at the load end we can say it is having the maximum amplitude. So this situation arises whenever there is certain problem occurs, problem in the sense certain mismatch. So while the wave has been propagating on the medium, the source should have the signal which should be launched to the wave on the medium. So while this wave is been propagating on the medium is been giving certain kind of obstruction in the sense the wave is been propagating on a medium where the medium itself is having certain impedance. We'll find out what are these impedance. So due to this impedance or those lossy property, the wave is been losing its power. Now if this is exponentially increasing, so what does it mean? It is been coming from other side and taking source as the load. So it is not at all our source which we have used where the source has been connected. It is not at all the our side, it is somewhere else. So if we have been considering V as the source, so at our side the wave should have the maximum amplitude at the source end. So that's why we have been considering this part as the forward propagating part and this part is the backward propagating part. So we can say this is propagating along plus z direction, this is propagating along minus z. Minus z means what? From the load end it is coming towards the source. It has been propagating in this direction, and for this direction it is plus z, it is minus z, it is having e to the power minus gamma z component, it is having e to the power plus gamma z component. So we say this factor is 0 if we are considering the source. If we are considering only the source, then we can say yes, this is the only the component which we are having. So we can say our field at the source and side, it should have only this part. Now we have been seen all the variation with respect to space. We can take out the variation with respect to time as well. So if we have been considering time variation as well, we need to take e to the power j omega t. So this one will become e z comma t. Z comma t means it has been having the variation with respect to z. We have seen with respect to z, as well as it is having the variation with respect to t. So we need to take the real value e s x z along with e to the power j omega t ax, right? So what is this? This value is E0 e to the power minus gamma z. So gamma is alpha plus j beta. So we can write this one as E0 e to the power minus alpha z e to the power j omega t minus beta z, which is having the component of x. Fine. So if we have been taking the real value, then we need to go with the x cos component. So we can able to write this one as E0 e to the power minus alpha z. Then for this e to the power j omega t minus beta z, it is cos plus j sine. So we have been writing only the cos omega t minus beta z ax, right? So for this, what can say, if we are having this z direction propagation, so cos, what does it mean? Cos means it is starting with the maximum amplitude, right? It is starting with the maximum amplitude. So cos signal is there, and it is having the envelope of e to the power minus alpha z. So it should be like this. So our cos signal will be there. So this will be our electric field which has been propagating along the z direction. This is our x. This is the x component of the electric field. Similarly, if we are having the x component for the electric field, we are having y component for the magnetic field, because all those components, this electric field and magnetic field, are orthogonal to each other. Minus alpha z e to the power j omega t minus beta z, it is having y component. So obviously if this is the x, this should be the y, x y z. So this is having same cos component, so it will start like this from here. So this is supposed to be the minus y. So here also it should be goes decreasing like this from the exponential decay. It should also have the exponential decay. So it should start here and goes like this. We should also have the exponential decay. So this is our y, that is magnetic field. So in this way, if we have been considering a plane on this origin, so on this plane the electric field and magnetic field, both of them are transverse or parallel or lying on that plane. So So this kind of wave where electric field and magnetic field both are orthogonal to each other and they are lying on plane which is known as transverse plane, this kind of waves are known as transverse electromagnetic wave, TEM wave, transverse electromagnetic wave. So this kind of waves are only possible while the wave has been propagating in an unbounded medium. Unbounded medium means on the free space, there is no boundary to meet anywhere. So while you will find in the waveguide, you will find this is a bounded medium, on that this kind of waves are not possible. So for in free space, when the wave has been propagating in an unbounded medium, unbounded means no boundary to meet it in any direction. In a free space, it is independent. So on free space, TEM wave exists, and this kind of waves are having the electric field and magnetic field, both of them are completely lying on the transverse plane. Okay. So if we have been considering the maximum value of electric field is E0, maximum value of magnetic field is H0. So easily we can find out the impedance of the medium, that is known as intrinsic impedance of the medium. Intrinsic impedance of medium. What is that? It is written as eta. Eta is E0 by H0. It is an complex quantity. It is a complex quantity. Okay. Now let us find how due to x component we are having only y component of H, or if we are having the y component of E, how we are having the x component of H. Let us find that thing. So let us assume that the plane wave, the waves are been lying, or the field components are lying on plane, that is for this case it is transverse plane. So this kind of planes are known as plane wave. The plane wave is propagating in the plus z direction with E and H field intensities in the x and y direction respectively, x and y direction respectively. So what we are having for this E, normal case, E is having the x component and it is having the variation along z. So we can write this one as E0 e to the power minus gamma z ax. Right? So we know Maxwell's equation, that is del cross H is sigma plus j omega epsilon into E. That is sigma is the conduction current density, epsilon E is the displacement, epsilon E is the D, right, or j omega is del by del T. So it is del D by del T, which is displacement current density, right. So this curl can be written as a matrix form, which is Ax, Ay, Az. We are having del del x, del del y, del del z. This H, it is having x, y, z. Sigma plus j omega epsilon. E is having all the components. For the most general case, I am just considering, will put our condition, that is Ez, Az, right. So what we have considered? We have considered that the variation of the wave is only with respect to z. So this variation should be 0. We are having the variation with respect to z only. So this variation should be 0. So if the wave is having the variation in a particular direction, so of that direction should not be any field component. Just try to understand. If for this case the wave is been propagating along the z direction, the field component is either in the x or y. There is no field component in the z direction. The wave is having, the field is having the variation, the field is been propagating in the z direction. They didn't have any component. So we can say this field component along z is not possible since our wave has been propagating along plus z direction. Fine. Up to this, any doubt? This del by del x and del by del y 0 since our wave has been propagating along z direction. And if the wave has been propagating along z direction, we didn't have any field component on this direction. So if z is 0 for this, so let us find out other field components for this. If we consider this ax, this one will be minus del hy by del z is equals to sigma plus j omega epsilon. We have been considering only x component because this is x, it is ex ax. Another one is from this, what we can found? We can found from this is del hy by del z is equals to minus of sigma by j omega epsilon into ex. Now if we take y component, then we should have this one, then del z hx, it is minus ay minus of del hx by del z is equals to y component sigma plus j omega epsilon, it is ay. So this one will give us del of hx by del z is equals to sigma plus j omega epsilon into ey. Anything else possible? If we are taking z, everything will be 0. Everything will be 0. So look, for the variation of x component, we can have y component of h. If we are having the component of y in the electric field, we are having the component of x in the magnetic field. That is what I said. For the magnetic field lying in the y direction, electric field will lie in the x direction. Magnetic field lie in the x direction, electric field will lie in the y direction. So always this electric field and magnetic field, all of them are in the orthogonal direction. In the orthogonal direction to each other, but the variation is always with respect to the direction of propagation, that is del z. Same we can go with another Maxwell's equation as well. If we take del cross E is equals to minus j omega mu h, so same we can go with this as well to find out this thing, that is ax, ay, az. We didn't have any variation with respect to x and y, we are having the variation with respect to z only. We can have x component, we can have y component, but z component should be 0. Here also we can write this one as 0, but to show you I am not make that one 0. There should not be any field component, either it is electric field or magnetic field. You can make this one as 0 as well. So we have been taking this 2 ex and ey minus j omega mu. We are having ax hx, ay hy plus hz az hz, which will be again 0. So from this, if we have been taking the x component, this del z into ey, taking x component, we are having del ey by del z is equals to EY means, sorry, AX means this HX, that is J omega mu HX, taking Y component. If we are taking Y component, then EX, that is del EX by del Z. Taking Y component, EX will come is equals to minus J omega mu HY. Okay, same variation along Y for the electric field. When it has been propagating in the Z direction, we are having the X component in the magnetic field. X component in the electric field propagating in the Z direction, we are having the Y component of the magnetic field. Okay, next we will find out the expression for this intrinsic impedance of the medium. So let us take our original electric field, that is E is equals to E0 e to the power minus gamma Z AX. So it is X component. We can write this one as EX also, right? We can write this as EX is equals to E0 e to the power minus gamma Z. So if we put here this thing, then we are having del EX by del Z. So if you take this one, so this one will become E0, this is E0, minus gamma will come out like this. So this thing is EX. So what we can write? Minus gamma EX, isn't it? So what is this? This is minus J omega mu HY. This value is minus J omega mu HY. Minus J omega mu HY is equals to minus gamma EX. Then if you take the ratio between these two, this is EX by HY is J omega mu by gamma. So EX by HY, in the orthogonal direction, the ratio will be the intrinsic impedance. Therefore what we can write? Eta. Eta is J omega mu. What is the value of gamma? Gamma is root over J omega mu sigma plus J omega epsilon, propagation constant. So this one is root over of J omega mu sigma plus J omega epsilon. It should have certain amplitude as well as certain angle, or in the polar form, in the exponent form, we can write like this: e to the power j theta eta. Okay, what is the value of theta eta? We can also find that one. Okay, I am just deriving this thing. So we have found eta as, if we take out this mu by epsilon common, then we can write down this one as root over mu by epsilon into 1 by root over of 1 plus sigma by j omega epsilon. Can we write like this? We have taken out mu epsilon. If we divide this one by j omega epsilon, if we have been dividing this one by j omega epsilon, then it will become mu by epsilon, then it is 1, then omega by sigma by j omega mu, right? So let us write this one as mu by epsilon 1 minus j sigma by omega epsilon whole to the power minus half. So let us go with the binomial series expansion. Series expansion. So it will have, what is the series? that is 1 minus x whole to the power minus n if there, then we can write as 1 minus nx plus n into n minus 1 by 2 factorial x square, like this, n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 by 3 factorial x cube plus like this. So if we go with this expansion, if we have been only taking the first order, then we can have, therefore eta is equals to root over mu epsilon, this one will be square, right, this one will be square. So for n is 2 here, so we can write like this also, 1 plus j sigma by twice omega epsilon, neglecting higher order terms. So what we did, we have taken like this 1 minus x whole to the power minus 2. So it will come out as, for this case, if we take n is equals to minus 2, 1 plus 2x plus 3x square plus 4x cube, like this. So using this we have written this thing. Okay, one more thing we need to do. Right, eta is root over mu epsilon. We can write like this, whatever we have written here. If you take the, then that will become minus, so we can write 1 by most probably this thing not required, this binomial expansion is not required, we can go with this also, 1 minus j sigma by omega epsilon, right. For this j has been taken as in the numerator. Now if we go with the polar form for this, if we go with the polar form, we can have, taking polar form, so a square root over of a square plus b square, then angle tan inverse of b by a, right. So we are having mu by epsilon 1 by, root is already present, then inside that root another root will come. So root over of this original root a square plus b square, that is 1 plus this one will become plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square whole root, then angle is minus tan inverse b by a, that is sigma by omega epsilon. Can we write like this? We can also write this one as root over mu epsilon root over of, inside the root another root is there, that is 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square e to the power minus j tan inverse sigma by omega epsilon, sigma by omega epsilon. So we can take out this value, that is eta is root over of mu by epsilon, it is 1 by 4th, right? 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square whole to the power 1 by 4, root another root, and angle value, this one will go in the numerator, it will become j, sorry, this root is here, this root is applicable, so it will become j half tan inverse sigma by omega epsilon. So what is the angle? This is the angle. So this theta eta is, half tan inverse sigma by omega epsilon. And what is the mod value? Mod of eta is root over mu by epsilon into 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square whole to the power 1 by 4, right? Or we can write this one as tan of twice theta eta is equals to sigma by omega epsilon. This thing is not required, you can bypass this thing, binomial expansion not required. You can start with this. We can start with the polar form. We have taken the amplitude and we have taken the angle. From this we can write like this. So this is the mod value of intrinsic impedance, this is the angle related with this intrinsic impedance. Fine. So what we know about this eta, that is the magnitude of the electric field and magnitude of the magnetic field. It is the ratio of these two. So if we write our expression of this electric field and this magnetic field, then we can replace this H with this eta, this H naught with eta. If it is having certain angle, then we need to write like this. For this H, I am just writing for this H. H was this expression. This is the expression of the H. So we can write like this: real of E0 by eta, that is mod value plus certain angle related with that. Theta eta e to the power minus alpha z e to the power j omega t minus beta z ay. Fine. So this was, if we say this is our one electric field expression, this is one electric field expression, that is if we written as 13, this one as 14. So this equation 13 and 14, we can say the wave is been propagating along this z. How we have been understand? It is having minus beta z. So somewhere if you have been finding plus beta z, for a lossless condition, obviously this e to the power alpha z will be 0. So if omega t plus beta z is there, you need to assume that wave is been propagating in the opposite direction, that is in the minus z direction. If minus beta z, then it is plus z direction. If plus beta z, that is minus z direction. Okay. This alpha, it is known as attenuation constant, and it is having the unit of, I am just writing here, alpha is the attenuation constant. It is having the unit Np per meter, sorry, Np per meter, Np per meter. Okay. Beta is the phase shift constant, it is radian per meter. Phase shift constant is radian per meter. These are the two things. Any doubt up to this? Anyone? Any doubt? only mathematical calculation, nothing that much complex. Only the understanding is that where the components are, what is the orientation of the components. If electric field is in x direction, obviously magnetic field will be in the y direction, and propagation will always in the perpendicular these two directions, that is in the orthogonal direction. So same, if the propagation in the y direction, the field components will be in the x and z direction. Clear? Any doubt, anyone? You can ask. Any doubt?